Welcome back. Berea College in Kentucky has a close eye on Wall Street, and that's because its endowment of more than $1 billion is all invested in the stock market. And that huge chunk of change, along with grants and scholarships, covers tuition for all of its 1,600 undergrads. Berea's plan works against the grain of rising tuition and mounting student debt. And here to tell us how they can do it is the president of Berea College, Lyle Roloffs. Lyle, welcome. Good to see you.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be on your show, Kelly.
Well, this sprung into the news back during the financial crisis when people suddenly went, wait a minute, the stock market's down. Does that put your entire plan at risk? Tell us about the darkest moment then. I assume there was one, and why you never changed course, and now how you're reaping the benefits today.
Well, that was a scary moment, but we take the long-term view in the stock market and never want to sell at the bottom, of course. We did have to put in place various circuit breakers and reduce our staff a little bit, but we were not forced to reduce the number of students we were serving, and we were gratified that the markets came back fairly expeditiously.
And were you able to now add positions or increase your funding of tuition? Did you have to shake off pressure? I mean, I can't imagine the kind of outside pressure there might have been on you guys to abandon your strategy and do something more conservative.
It was scary. There were a variety of desperate measures considered, but at the end of the day, good sense prevailed. And in the recovery since, because we had reduced our staffing a little bit, we've been able to add positions back and in ways that meet our needs a little better. I guess we were not wasting a crisis, as Rahm Emanuel once said.
Carol.
Lyle, it's Carol Roth. I wonder if you had ever considered alternative investments. I know a lot of endowments and pension funds and the like have a portion of their endowments in private equity and other types of alternative assets. Has that ever been a philosophy or a thought for you?
We actually do have small parts of our endowment in private equity. We have some hedge funds. It's not all in just plain old equities, and we're about an 80-20 ratio, and so we have about 20% in either bonds or cash at any given moment. So we're not entirely in the market.
Mr. Roloff, when I hear the story that, you grant a lot of tuition money and you're playing off the stock market capital of the college, which makes a lot of sense. I'm reminded of a lot of people who incorrectly say the only people that benefit from the stock market is the top 1%. Well, that can't be the case. You're helping kids who are probably not millionaires, just like the stock market helps people in pension fund unions, firemen, cops, and teachers. So this is an example of where a rising stock market pretty much helps everybody, does it not?
Well, that's a wonderful point. Berea College couldn't do what it does without the strength of the American economy and the financial system. All those gifts that have built in an endowment would be basically meaningless, or at least they couldn't be leveraged at all if we were not in a situation where markets produce the kind of returns that they do. Of that $1.1 billion, only $500 million was actually given to us in the form of gifts. The rest is all the result of careful stewardship and not spending all the returns, reinvesting some of them. So we really have figured out how to leverage the generosity of the American public and the strength of the American economy in order to provide an education to students who otherwise wouldn't be able to go to college.
And a strongly faith-based institution as well, Lyle. It's a fascinating story. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on what you're doing.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure.
Lyle Roloffs is president of Berea College in Kentucky. Zynga, meanwhile, those shares are reopening. They're plunging after the company announced CEO Don Mattrick will be replaced by chairman and former CEO Mark Pincus. The move comes less than 2 years after Mattrick was brought from Microsoft to turn around the struggling mobile game maker. As you can see, those Zynga shares down about 8% after hours. And the Apple Watch, meanwhile, making it into the hands of reviewers today. No shock, but it's created quite a buzz on CNBC.com. And our hot list today. Up next, we'll get the lowdown on the hot new item. Still to come, there's no mind like a curious mind. And one of the most curious belongs to superstar Hollywood producer Brian Grazer. His curiosity has led to meeting people of all walks of life. And now he's sharing what he learned in a new book. Brian Grazer live from Post 9. Still to come.
I suppose I'm curious. I'm just a little